This video is in relation to the Ableton Reverb freeze feature, which can be seen here. And freeze involves this button which activates the freeze, flat, cut, and the other controls that affect it are size and density, scale, and diffuse acts as a sort of volume control because it's freezing what's captured inside the diffusion network. The early reflections and the reflect parameter don't affect it at all. Okay, to demonstrate the reverb freeze feature, I've got a melody here made with operator. The melody's only in the first bar, and then I've left the second bar free just so you can hear the reverb freeze play out more clearly. I'm going to put a filter delay on it, make it sound a bit more interesting, and also I've put an LFO on the central frequency delay just to keep it sounding interesting over time. Just a slight modulation so it doesn't get too boring while we do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is send this melody through to the reverb return channel. And when we increase the decay, you'll hear the reverb. I'm going to freeze it to demonstrate this. Now, as I said before, you can use this diffuse parameter to increase or decrease the volume. I'm going to put it up a little bit so you can hear it more. And the decay doesn't affect it at all anymore. It's literally doing nothing. The freeze overrides that. And so we don't need the source sound either. Literally just keep playing frozen in that one moment there. So this diffusion network will affect this freeze sound, but we need to make a few changes for that to happen. And the filters won't work right now. That's because flat is checked. If we take that off, it'll start to shape the sound of these filters. But once you do that, the sound doesn't come back as you hear there. In fact, you can completely remove it. And there appears to be no sound whatsoever. But we've got these other controls here as well, which I was saying will affect the freeze parameter. So even if there's only a tiny bit, we should be able to bring that back. As you can see, the sound slowly building up again just by messing with things that are adding colour to the sound. You can literally build the sound from nothing. You can see we can bring that back. Also kind of hear what these parameters are, how they're affecting the frozen sound as well. It really isn't the same as the way they affect them if you've got a normal reverberated sound going through it and processing it through the fusion network, but they will add unusual colour to it. So the other thing as well is the cut parameter. Going to turn that off. Okay, so what the cut parameter does is it allows the source sound to keep adding to the frozen reverb, and this can get out of hand really quick. So I'll demonstrate this now. Get this frozen. So we've got the frozen sound there, the decay down, it's not affecting it. As you can hear there, it's already added to it quite a lot. We'll leave it turned on for a little bit longer with the diffusion turned down because it will get really loud really fast. It's basically like a feedback network, just keeps building up. So now I've gone over all the basic features of the freeze parameter. I'm going to demonstrate how I'd use this on the fly to create a build in a track. So I've got a kick here and some hi-hats on 16ths. Very simple. That's it. I need to do so that I can do this while I'm messing around at the same time with all these effects and that, I'm going to map the channel mute for the kick to M for mic, and I'm going to map the freeze to N for November. And let's get this going. Need these to start with. Just the melody. Literally that simple. So to make it a bit more interesting, you can do things like add a frequency shifter, or the classic would be like a chorus effect or something to make it wide, a flanger, phaser, that type of thing, and slowly make it swirl around more and more, and then cut it away and you bring your elements back. But I'm just going to show you the frequency shifter. I think increasing the pitch in a build really helps a lot. And what I'm going to need to do here is map the on-off for the frequency shifter to N for November as well, same as the freeze. So when I turn off the freeze, it will also turn off the frequency shifter. We won't still get crazy repitch sounds going through the return channel. So let's get this going. That sort of thing. And finally, you might not always want to bring the decay time back down. If you could hear in the couple of examples I did there, it was completely dry as it came back in. So what you can also do is leave the decay time up a little bit. I'll just show you now. So it throws that at about 3 seconds. So bring it down a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is when I release it, I'm going to leave the decay up, but then slowly bring it down manually. As you can see, it just sounds a little bit nicer rather than just that sudden change. You might want that sudden change, just depends how you're arranging your track. And another thing is also if you release it, say half a bar before the drop, so you have a moment of silence and then your drum elements come back in, that can just add a little bit extra to your track. So I hope you found these tips useful. Subscribe to the channel, add any comments, any requests you've got for other tutorials, and thanks for watching. Cheers.